is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. To learn more about Next Level Loan Officers, go to becomennl.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of our Next Level Loan Officers podcast. My name is Sean Zalmanoff, as you probably know. And if you are interested in becoming or finding out more about Next Level, all you need to do is type into your handy browser, becomennl.com, and you can find out all the amazing things that are at your fingertips for the low price of $197 per month. And by the way, if you don't know, you will now that Next Level Loan Officers podcast is the #1 loan officer podcast downloaded for loan officers by loan officers in this great United States. And that probably means the world too, because I don't know how many loan officers are in Russia. Scott Webster, we have coming in live and hot from the great state of Arizona in a beautiful town of Gilbert. Scott, how are you today?
Hey, I am awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. So I notice in back behind you here, and most of you all know, if you're listening to us, you can also watch us on YouTube. But I see you've got this leadership poster framed behind you. Will you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that is part of the Peak program. I was fortunate enough to be selected to be a part of the inaugural group. And in that first week, we established a little bit of a foundation for who we are and, a strength of something that we want to work on. And leadership happened to be my key word, if you will. And to keep it fresh in my mind, I decided to have it made into a poster and framed so that every time I turn around to get some water out of the fridge or turn around to look at my team behind me, I see that fresh.
So I want to talk about that today, because you've gone from being pretty recently a one-man band to growing a team. And so there's probably been quite a few shifts in your business, and very relatable to what a lot of loan officers across everywhere are dealing with right now. So take a minute though. Give me your baseball card stats. How long you been in the business for? What's your production look like? And where are you headed to with this fantastic team now?
Yeah. So I originally got in the industry in 2005, took a little break from the events of 2008 and came back as a licensed loan originator in 2017. So about a little over 5 years back in the business. And, I think like everybody was off to a rocky start. I mean, honestly, 17, that start of year was actually pretty good. Shifted and took an opportunity with another company in 18 and fell flat on my face. It was really a challenge. I think I probably closed maybe 5 or 6 loans in that second year.
The grass wasn't greener there?
Oh, absolutely not. It was, but a learning experience and a stepping stone. And I really feel like everything that happens, at least, probably in all of our lives, but in my life, there's something to learn from it and a reason that it happened. And it brought me to where I am today. So, fast forward to 2019, one of the branch managers that hired me at that previous company is with me at my current company. And he invited me to be a part of a relationship with a small home builder. And that really is what catapulted my business, to where it is today. 2018, I think the first half of the year, I closed about 10 loans. And then from June to December, another 44. So it was a big shift, and at that time I had a processor and then it was just myself. So, 2019, 54 loans. 2020, we grew a little bit and, 86 closed. And then fortunate enough last year to grow a little bit more and ended up with 110. Along the way, though, pivoting in my business and adding some tools, to help me stay in front of my past customers, create a little better experience, and then adding some support, to help me be able to focus on the more important tasks.
So what tools, what arrows are you pulling out of your quiver right now that are the most important to you, that have either freed up time, leveraged your business, that you're sharing with your realtors and builders?
So 2019, or excuse me, 2020, I added HomeBot and a CRM. And I think the HomeBot was a game changer for me, and still to this day I haven't utilized it to its full capability, but just dumped everybody in there and added everybody as we went along. And it really was, I received well by the customer, and it really blew my business up from there. And then this year I'm just in the process of adding art of home ownership,
Cool.
and really just looking at the customer experience and some things that can be done that just drops in and plug and play. And then from there, my focus is to build off of those systems and really use them to their full capability. But it's a really good conversation piece to be had with not only agents but other professionals in other industries to build relationships.
Yeah, friends, if you've heard me speak before, this is going to sound like a broken record, and I really hope it does, because this needs to be ingrained into your mind. Technology is never going to replace loan officers, but loan officers who embrace technology will dominate, crush, and destroy those that don't. One of the tools that we've implemented recently, Lender Logics. I mean, we've got pre-quals and pre-approvals and 5K guarantees on demand for our realtor partners now. And now my loan officers don't have to deal with late afternoon phone calls, evening phone calls, Saturday, Sunday phone calls, because the realtors have the tools in their hand. And, just because of the season that we're in right now, Scott, I think it's really important to talk a little bit about just when you chase that greener grass. I know almost every loan officer listening or watching us right now, your phone is getting blown up every day by recruiters. You're probably taking some pretty good apps right now, but the business is a little bit slower. Um, you know, People are, let's just call them dumb, and waiting to list their houses until the snow melts or something. I know you guys don't have any snow in Arizona, but till the snow melts or things thaw, so whatever their azaleas bloom, not realizing they'll probably get more for their house now because there's so many fewer houses on the market. And so you're getting intrigued by these companies that are offering you $30, $50, $80,000 signing bonuses. And if things aren't broke at your company right now, you changing is a stupid idea. Like, first of all, if somebody gives you a $40,000 bonus, half of it goes to the tax man. You're getting 20 grand when it's said and done, and you're locked in for 2 years. They screw up a loan or two for you, man, the relationship's gone. The bonus you got, you already spent it. You're putting yourself in a worse position. Don't chase that greener grass. Water the grass that you're in right now, and put your efforts there. And Scott, that's what you've done. Something we talk about in Next Level all the time is our ATMs. And I do say so for you. You're crushing it on your ATMs. Will you talk about what you're doing and really how you've scaled your business and kind of even making it a family business right now, which is pretty cool?
Yeah, no, it is. I'm adding two team members. Both are my daughters. One is in college, so she's great as a client concierge, so she can help make sure the CRM is, accurate and up to date and things like that. And then my other daughter, who's been, like, I guess, just exploded in everything she does, from having her own photography business to her own hair business to now getting licensed. She's going to be my loan partner, and that's going to be a game changer. And that's what allows me to get out and build those relationships with the agents. And one of the ATMs that I focused on, and I guess it's a little bit, and maybe the lesson I learned from the grass isn't always greener on the other side, is with my current realtor partners, rather than going out and trying to add more initially, I decided I wanted to spend a few months building the relationship that I have with the current partners. And with some of the new technology or the technology that I've had, really dive into that and let them know what it is and how it benefits them. You mentioned lender logics. I went live with that yesterday. It's been a great experience. It's taken us a couple of weeks to get going. And it's interesting how the second I knew about lender logics and what it could do to me, how many times I said, holy cow, why have I not had this? I mean, Saturday I wasn't live. I had an agent call me and say, hey, I need an updated pre-qual. Well, I was doing yard work, so I didn't have my phone with me. So 2 hours goes by. It's not that I don't want to have the conversation, but how nice would it have been for them to be able to say, boom, here, let's update the pre-qual, offer goes in. Instead, they waited for me. They got the updated pre-qual, and then within minutes, I have an offer in my email box. So it was a really, really good reminder to me of how things like that can really be a game changer. And this happens to be an agent that I've worked with before, but is not what I would consider a partner. And so something like that would really have helped set me apart from some of her other experiences, I feel.
Yeah, I love a couple of things that you said there. One, I'm surprised an agent that you don't consider your partner would wait 2 hours. So that's somebody, especially in this market. So that's somebody you should make your partner because they didn't go send them to another lender. But you were talking about not just companies, but watering the grass you have, and so the realtors we work with, we love the realtors we work with. They give us a lot of business. They're the lifeblood of our organization, and that in our database, of course. And man, you couldn't have hit it more on the head. Going deeper with them, embracing them, showing them all of the technology, everything that you have. Really, I mean, gosh, if you got 10 agents that work with you on a pretty consistent basis, and there's another third of a deal a month that you can squeeze out, man, that's 3 deals a month on the low end. That's 36 deals a year. I don't care what your commission structure is. 36 more deals a year. You're making more money. That's the difference in hiring another staff member or two to invest back into your business for you to scale and leverage. And so right now is the time for you to think about all of these things as you're listening to what Scott's saying here and what we talk about in Next Level and the things that I talk about all the time on these podcasts. Like, we are pretty dang confident that there's going to be a significant amount less loans closed in 2022 than there was in 2021. As an industry, I don't care about everybody else in the industry. I control my own destiny. My kids have a mantra, and that's part of what they say in their mantra every day is I control my destiny. And I don't, just because there's less loans that are going to happen in the industry doesn't mean I'm going to close less loans. It doesn't mean Scott's going to close less loans. It doesn't mean your partner next to you needs to close less loans. So don't follow Chicken Little and the BS that they say when they're worried about the skies falling and this and that. It's like, I mean, some of my loan officers right now, they're like, man, I don't have a lot of contracts coming in. I'm like, you took 54 apps last month, dude. Like, usually if you take 54 apps, you trigger 27 or so real apps where LEs go out and everything's inside of there. You did 6 last month, man. It ain't you. It's just the market right now. This dam is about to break, and it's going to be pretty for us. I'm excited. So Warren Buffett says, best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. Technology, education, building your team. Those are the best things that you can do. There's no stock you can buy that can equal the return if you close in a couple more loans a month. So I just want everybody to be really clear on that and understand the potential ahead of us.
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking at my business this year, and I can see compared to where I was last year, it's down a little bit. I'm still eating. We're still thriving. We're growing. And I think this is a great time right now to not only focus on, we've got to still close loans. That's how we eat. But take the time right now to really strengthen some of those other areas, because the last year was just 100 miles an hour all year long. And so the gas pedal's off a little bit as far as maybe the business that's coming in, really focus on the business that is there, and then get ready for, what's to maybe come in the next 6 or 8 months, and for the future. And I think that's, I'm about a year into being a member with Next Level. And one of the biggest things that I've benefited from is the community. And I was telling Kellen at the San Diego live event that every time I open up Facebook, Next Level is like the first thing I see, whether it's the group page or all of the friends I've connected with and become friends with. And it's almost kind of a joke in my household now because it's all Next Level. I mean, my kids were saying, hey, say hi to Sean, say hi to Kellen. They don't know you guys, but they hear me talk about it so much that it's almost like it's become a part of my family. But not only that, there's so many ideas and things that are shared within that group. Nobody is in competition with each other. And just having that support and then the confidence to know of, where to pivot and, some ideas of how to change when there's a struggle is it's invaluable. I don't even know how to put it into words.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome community. It's cool. There's not a day that goes by that you can't log in and get a new idea or refine something that one of our amazing members has put together. So thanks for that. And Scott, without people like you, none of it happens. Like it takes strong leaders to put some things in place. But as we say over and over and over again, the power's in the group. And like you mentioned, it's all the other acquaintances and friends and, your Next Level family that you met that really moved the needle for you and your business and for me too. So what does 2022 look like for you? You closed 40 loans and then 80 loans and then 120 loans. What's
I mean, my goal this year is, I think initially it was let's break through 2021's numbers. It's shifting a little bit though to my focus is to really take all the tools and systems and just really perfect them as much as I can and be consistent in my ATMs daily. I feel like the next 6 months are a good pivoting point to get ready for potentially a rate shift from what we're seeing now to a big shift in the purchase business for 2023. And I want to be ready and have a team in place. So it's all about strength for me. And
awesome.
I'm not as focused on making as much money as I did last year. I think that just naturally comes with just those daily ATMs.
So talk to us about your ATM specifically. What are you doing now? And how has that shifted now that you've got two amazing women on your team helping you?
So it's a work in progress. The term "no pain, no gain" is very true. I think I've probably been harder to be around the last several months than ever at home, but it's all for good reason, and everybody's on board with the goals. So my ATMs that I'm focusing on are my current database and staying in contact with them and providing them more value post-close, strengthening my current realtor partners, and then in the next 90 days, starting to expand that with new realtor partners, putting together some educational. I think education is probably key for the realtors, and you'll hear that a lot in the group. But just like us as loan officers wanting to be educated about what's happening, agents want to be educated just the same, and just having those conversations open up the business. So I guess just a real quick 3 ATMs for me are current partners, technology, and just strengthening it with my past database, and then some professional partners in the fields of like attorneys, estate planners, things like that. and just having real value in all of those areas.
Beautiful. So you mentioned education. So the uh, the person who runs the Sean Z team. So I actually have I'm kind of the face, but there's another guy who actually originates all the loans on our branded team, and he was trying to get into this office who that working his way to this broker. We know the broker, you know, acquaintances over the last 10 years, and he was getting nothing from her. Now we work hand in hand with one of the agents in our office. And so I happened to be out to lunch with that agent. And I was like, hey, I've got this great class that I'm teaching right now on, you know, how the market's not a bubble, and showing some stats and tools that really any realtor who listens to it will close more transactions this year because of it. I'd love to just present it to your office. And so she went and talked to the broker over the next few days, and the broker reached out to me and was like, when can you come teach this? So it's interesting. So I'm teaching it actually here in 2 weeks, right when we get back from spring break. But, you know, making sure that you're thinking about your approaches, like when you're talking to somebody like, hey, let me get in, like, dude, I want to get into the whole office. I want to teach a class. I told them, I was like, hey, and even so, what I did too, when I sent the broker the message to go out with the invite, was I sent a bomb video and introducing the class, 45 seconds, really quick. Told them about what the class was, what the talking heads in the media were saying, and that they're going to get 8 pieces of information, of which I hope they pull out 2 that will move the needle in their business this year. And man, it was all that was set up in a matter of days, leading with education. And you all have to understand that, man, realtors, I mean, they don't know very much about our business. Even really seasoned agents, they don't know they won't admit it. And so teaching them just a little bit, giving a little bit of value. And then at the end of that presentation, guess what? I get to drop our 5K guarantee and our pre-qualifications and pre-approvals on demand, because then I'm going to have a captive audience who I'm going to present it to for 30-ish minutes. And then I get to tell them what makes us different. I even told them too. I told them in the video. I told them in the emails, like, hey, bring your lenders, man. If your other loan officers want to come, that's great too. They're more than welcome to come sit, because I know they can't present in the same manner that I can. And it's just like you were talking about, Scott, with the just the whole giving mentality that we have inside of Next Level. I don't even care if people in my local market want to swipe it too, by all means.
So true. I mean, that's the power of this group, is that there is so much sharing going on, and it's all for the greater good for everybody. There's no competition, and there's a lot of fear in our current market, realtors included, and it just being able to educate them on, what's really happening or how things truly work. It really helps put their mind at ease instead of being fearful. We can go out and be on the offense to to grow our business. And had I had this when I first got back into the industry, it would have been huge. I spent a few years as a loan officer and then about 5 years as a realtor. So in 2012 I was completely out of real estate. In 2017, the first week, I got on my phone and just called everybody in my contacts list, pulled a ton of credit, and talked to a ton of realtors. But how many of those realtors wanted to work with me? 0, because they already had somebody in place. And it's because all I was telling them was, I have the best rates. I can close fast. That's what they hear all day long. So let's educate and really share what we know, and that's the biggest thing. Is it's not me sharing my knowledge, it's knowledge that I've learned from the true professionals, the economists, even down to Next Level, using the materials that we have available. That's not me. That's saying, hey, this is me investing in myself to help invest in you. This is a company that I work with, a coaching group, a coaching community, however you want to call it. It adds so much more credibility than just what Scott Webster said, because who the heck is Scott Webster to tell me this?
The power is in the group. So if you're interested in finding out a little more and joining our community, again, just go to becomenl.com and you can find out there. We're going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada in early April for a one-day live event. And if you want to join us, you can hang out for the mastermind afterwards as well. Scott, I appreciate you in more ways than I can mention in a few brief seconds to end this phone call, podcast, phone call, YouTube thing, whatever it is that we're doing right now. Any last words? Anything else you want to say?
Sean, I feel the same. I can't say enough about just you, the group, the community. It's become a family, and I'm really looking forward to Vegas. I was in Dallas Fort Worth as my first mastermind. I feel like now I know more of what to expect, and so I'm excited to reconnect and with everybody I met in Dallas, and it's going to be a great time. But thank you so much for all you and Next Level does. It's more helpful to this community than you ever know.
Thank you, brother. Friends, peace out, y'all. Scott, see you in a few weeks.
Peace out. Have a good day.